Hello, students. Let us continue with the poem The Solitude of Alexander Selkirk. In my previous lecture, I had given you some idea regarding the poet of the poem and the background, okay, what the poem is going to be about. Now, students, have you ever thought how would you feel if you were kept all alone in an inhabited place, uninhabited place, where there is no human beings to be seen, where there is no kind of human society, where you don't get to hear any human voice, and you are all alone in that place. Have you ever thought? Has this thought ever occurred to your mind? Probably not, but some of you all might have ever thought like that. So, what would you think? Would you love your stay there? Or would you be frustrated living in that environment? So, these answers we are going to get in the poem. Okay, man being a social animal from our birth itself till the last breath of our life, we always find ourselves being surrounded by people, be it our family members, be it our friends, be it our colleagues in our later life, or the other people in the society, our relatives. Okay, so we human beings who are considered to be the wisest of all the creatures, or we may say more civilized of all the creatures that have uh, taken birth on this earth, have created a society for ourselves. And so many things are there which we have created by ourselves, like religion, like you may say, we have created caste, community, we have created art, we have created literature. So these are something which we need in our day-to-day life along with our basic needs. Okay, so when a person finds himself all alone in an uninhabited place, what kind of feelings will come to his mind? Okay, and there might be changes in the thoughts of the person. He might be initially enjoying, later he might get frustrated, or he might be frustrated initially, or later he might be enjoying. So let us see, what did this person, Alexander Selkirk, feel when he was left all alone in an uninhabited island for a period of 4 years. Okay, line by line I'm reading the poem. I hope you have your books with you so that you can see the lines and follow the explanation. Okay, let us see. Now, the speaker, okay, the speaker here is the poet himself. We have to assume like that. And the poet who takes the garb of Alexander Selkirk, okay, the speaker, we have to assume that he is Alexander Selkirk and he is all alone in that uninhabited island. And let us see what are the feelings in his mind, okay, how does he feel uh, when he is left alone. Okay, the poet in the garb of Alexander Selkirk. The speaker is who? Alexander Selkirk, the man in that lonely island. I am the monarch of all I survey. My right there is none to dispute. From the centre all round to the sea, I am lord of the fowl and the brute. O solitude, where are the charms that sages have seen in thy face? Better dwell in the midst of alarms than reign in this horrible place. This is the first stanza of the poem. The poem begins with Selkirk considering himself to be the monarch. Monarch, student, means a king. Okay, he's telling that I am the king of all I survey. Survey means that I see, because we already know that he was all alone in that island. There is no other human being, so he himself is the king. He can consider himself to be the supreme lord. Okay, the most powerful creature, being a human being. So he can claim that he is the monarch. He was the king of everything that he could see there. All I survey means everything that he could see there. My right there is none to dispute. He's telling, see, generally when to disputes occur, disputes means misunderstandings, quarrels, arguments generally occur among human beings because of differences in opinion, differences in view. Okay, but there was no one to dispute with Alexander Selkirk. He was all alone. He's telling that my right, the authority that I enjoy in this island, no one is going to dispute regarding that, because there is no human being. It's only human beings who give in to quarrels and arguments, battles later. So he's telling that I am so means I am the undisputed monarch of this island. Okay, I can have my monopoly here, undisputed. No one is there to question me. I can assert my right as I wish, from the center all round to the sea. So, how far did his reign go? His reign started from the center of the island to all round the sea. He didn't tell about the entire earth because he knew that he was in a certain corner of the earth in a small island. There he was the monarch. Okay, he doesn't go on to say illogically that he was the monarch of the entire world. No, he knows that in other parts of the world there are human beings. It's only he who was alone. Okay, he was abandoned there. He was marooned in that uninhabited island. So he's telling that I am the monarch, monarch of which place? From the center of that island to all around the sea. Okay, from the island to the sea, he was the monarch, undisputed monarch, you may say. I am the lord of the fowl and the brood. He knows that the island was inhabited by lot of wild animals. Okay, fowl, and brutes, okay, the wild animals, dangerous creatures, whatever they may be, the animals were there. And he's telling that I am the lord of these animals, I am the lord of the creatures which are living in this island. And then he seemed to, you may say, give a status of his stay in that island, initial stay, how he was feeling. Okay, probably he was relishing being the supreme authority over that island. He was happy that no one was there to question his rule and right. And because we all know that most of the human beings love power, attention. Yes, there have been so many battles fought in this world. History is witness of that, in order to gain power. Yes, power always makes human beings happy most of the time. So he was probably relishing, rejoicing the power that he was enjoying there. No one was there to question him. He was all authority in that uninhabited island. Next, let us see. O solitude, where the charms that sages have seen in thy face. From this line, we come to know that he was slowly, he was uh, becoming desperate. Okay, desperate to see human companions. Probably he was becoming frustrated of that solitude that he was enjoying for so long, because after all, man is a social animal. So he's questioning, oh solitude, solitude means loneliness, where are the charms that sages have seen in thy face? Solitude is personified here, and is asking, seems to ask solitude, where are your beauties, where are your charms that the sages have seen in thy face? Sages, you know, saints, sages, they go for meditation in solitary places, lonely places, and they live there for years and years, and they never complain. Okay, and generation after generation, we have seen in the history, we have seen that sages go to solitary places like the top of the mountains, hills, and they give into meditation, and they have never complained about the solitude. In fact, they enjoy. So he here questions, Alexander Selkirk questions, sages say that you have a lot of charms. That is why they go in search of solitude. Now, where are your beauties, solitude? Where are those charms that you have given to sages? Why am I not being able to get the beauty? Why am I not being able to enjoy your charms? Because by the time he was frustrated, okay, he was really disillusioned. Better dwell in the midst of alarms than reign in this horrible place. So he's telling that it's really becoming so frustrating to stay all alone in this island, that I feel that it's better that if I am given a choice, I would go and live. Dwell means to live in the midst of, means in the middle of alarms, where there are alarms, noise. Okay, there is no peace. Okay, then reign means to rule in this horrible place. See, this first stanza itself, he considers the place to be horrible, that island to be horrible. No other reason is there except that he was all alone, and except that there was solitude pervading the entire island and he could not see any other human beings. Okay, so students, in the first stanza, we get to know that initially this person, this sailor, the speaker Alexander Selkirk, was relishing on being the supreme authority over that island, relishing the powers that he was enjoying. But very soon his rejoicement gave way to frustration, because after all he is a human being, and he's telling that he could not enjoy his stay in solitude for long, and he was questioning solitude, where the charms had gone which solitude used to give to the saints, and he would prefer to live in a place of turmoil, disturbances, alarms, okay, than to be the king in that solitary place. Okay, that was the first stanza of the poem. Let us come to the second stanza. I am out of humanity's reach. I must finish my journey alone. Never hear the sweet music of speech. I start at the sound of my own. The beasts that roam over the plain, my form with indifferency. They are so unacquainted with man, their tameness is shocking to me. So in the second stanza, the speaker is telling that I'm out of humanity's reach. He's slowly lamenting. His condition is that of a very pitiable condition, and he is lamenting regarding his own grim situation. Okay, he is telling that he's very sorry to tell that he was out of humanity's reach. Means humanity cannot reach him. People did not know about his existence in that uninhabited island by that time, so no one could come to support him there. No one could come to rescue him from there. So he's telling that I am living in oblivion. No one knows about me. I'm out of reach. I am beyond their touch. I cannot be touched by the humanity. I cannot be seen by my friends. I am so far away. Probably they don't even know about my existence. I must finish my journey alone. So he knows that there is no hope of others coming to meet him. There is no hope of him going and mingling with the human society once again. So he has accepted his destiny, and he's telling he is depicting, or you may say he is. Himself admitting that he has to finish his journey alone. This journey, students, refers to the journey of life. See, till his last breath he has to live in that island. He knows that. Okay, and he's telling that the leftover journey of my life, I have to complete it myself. I have to finish it myself without any companion. Generally, in our journey of life, we find so many people with us, isn't it? See, this life is nothing but a journey. I have told you many a times, this is a journey which we have initiated from the time we have taken birth, and it will one day end when it will be the last day of us on this earth. And we all know that our stay is so temporary on this world. Okay, so but in this journey we meet so many people. The day we take birth, we develop so many relationships. We are someone's daughter, someone's niece. Okay, then we are someone's grandchildren, and as we grow bigger and bigger, more relationships come to our life. We befriend others, so many people are there with us in this journey. But Selkirk is telling that his journey will be all alone. It will be really a solitary journey, the rest remaining the leftover part of his life. Okay, never hear the sweet music of sweet speech. See, speech means the words that we speak, the talk of human beings. See, so he, after being alone in that uninhabited island, he could feel the importance of the things which he had got earlier living in the human society. So now he could realize how sweet the speech of human beings is. He probably didn't realize the worth of it while he could hear it in his day-to-day life in the past. But now he's telling that he's lamenting, he's regretting that he'll never be able to hear the sweet music of speech. See, he is giving a quality of music to speech. He's telling that speech has a music. Now he could feel that remaining alone in that island. He's telling that I lament, he's very unhappy that he is not going to hear the sweet music of speech. In order to hear that, he has to have a companion, he has to have meet a person who will talk to him. Okay, I start at the sound of my own. Start means I'm shocked. I'm startled at my own sound because it seems so so different. Okay, it seems so astonishing because he didn't get to hear any other human voices there for long. So whenever he suddenly hears his own sound, sometimes he used to make a sound, he used to be terrified. He used to be shocked. The beasts that roam over the plain, my form with indifferency means as I've already told you that island was filled with fowls and bees, dangerous wild animals were also there. But the speaker is telling that the bees which roam means move around in that island over that plain, they are also indifferent to sorry, Alexander Selkirk. Means my form of a human being. Their forms are different. They are creatures, some birds, probably the animals, four-legged creatures, the animals, so that human being was a unique thing for them. So they look at, whenever they see Alexander Selkirk, the animals, they did not show any interest in him because they were totally indifferent towards such a creature. Means they had never seen a human being in their life before, and so they are totally indifferent, means not paying any attention, not paying any interest to the speaker or his form, his human form, physical form, the author is referring to. Okay, so they just roam around, they don't bother him, they don't scare him also. They are least interested in Alexander Selkirk because that was a creature that they had never seen before, the human creature. They are so unacquainted with man, their tameness is shocking to me. These creatures, these animals which were there in that island, they were totally unacquainted with man. They didn't know about man because they had never seen a man before. Unacquainted means they were not never introduced to human beings before. They didn't don't know about human beings, so they are totally unacquainted, and that's why they are so tame. Means they don't become wild, they don't become ferocious. Some animals which used to be ferocious whenever they are taken to the human society, and as society, the human beings consider them to be ferocious. But the animals which he saw in that island, some of them were quite dangerous, but they seemed to be very tame. Okay, that thing was also very surprising for Alexander Selkirk. Okay, he was shocked to see that the animals were so tame. They did not bother him, they did not disturb him, they did not terrify him. Otherwise, they could have killed him. Okay, they didn't even know that some animals didn't even know that they could prey on this creature called human being. Okay, so that's why there was a kind of indifference between Selkirk and the animals. Okay, so in the second stanza, students, we have come to know the state of mind in of Alexander Selkirk, how desperate, how frustrated he was, and he has resigned to his fate that he would have to finish his journey alone. Okay, and he also talks about the tameness of the wild animals which lived in that island. Now let us come to the third stanza. Society, friendship, and love divinely bestowed upon man. Oh, had I the wings of a dove, how soon I would I taste you again. My sorrows I then might assuage in the ways of religion and truth, might learn from the wisdom of age and be cheered by the sallies of youth. Okay, in the third stanza, the speaker, Alexander Selkirk, he is appreciating certain virtues of human beings. One is society, next is friendship, and that is love. He's telling that human beings are Lucky that these three things are bestowed means given as a blessing by God. Divinely means something which is a divine quality. That means something which comes from God. God has blessed these characteristics upon human beings. What are they? Society. That man is a social animal. That is a blessing in itself. Human beings live in the company of others, which help them to you may say they share their sorrow, share their happiness, and lead a very wonderful journey of life. Then human beings also have friends. Friendship is a very good blessing on human beings. Friends who are there with us in our thick and thin of our life, okay, who makes the journey of our life sweet and interesting. And love. Love is such a divine quality that human beings possess, and it is because of the love that the human society runs smoothly. Okay, so these are qualities which we find in God: love, care, and these are there in the human society also, which is not there in the world of animals. Okay, animals do not have all these things, probably society, friendship, and love. He has not seen these things in the world of animals, and so he misses these things because he's no longer in a human society. And remaining away from the human society, he could contemplate, he could analyze how beautiful the human society is. Okay, and he got the chance to appreciate these qualities which existed in the human society. Okay, the human world. Society was a divine virtue. Friendship is a divine virtue of human beings, and love is unspeakable. That makes the world of the human beings go so smoothly. They are bestowed. God has blessed these things upon a man. Oh, had I the wings of a dove. But he is also man, but he is now away from the fellow beings, so he cannot, you may say, mm, enjoy the charms of these things. Okay, so he wished, he had an ardent desire to go back to to his people, to the place from where he had come, to be again with the human beings. And he's telling that I wish I had the wings of a dove. Dove, you know, is a bird. And he is telling that dove is symbolic of peace also. See, he wanted peace in his life, and he know that at that moment, how can it be possible? How can he reach the human world, human society? It's some miracle might take place, some wishes might must be granted. So he had a ardent, a sincere wish towards God, and that was what? To have the wings of a dove, to have the wings of a bird called dove, so that with the help of those wings, he will fly away from that island to his fellow beings, okay, to the human society. How soon would I taste you again? He's telling me, if I had the wings of the dove, I would not waste a minute, and immediately I would fly to you, to my fellow beings, and then I would taste you again. Taste what? Taste society, taste the pleasures of friendship, and taste the pleasures of love. These three things he's telling. If I had the wings of a dove, I would fly to the world of human beings, to my fellow beings, and I would taste the three things: society, friendship, and love, which are bestowed on man by God. My sorrows I then might assuage, means assuage to make less. He's telling that once I am with my fellow beings, I am sure that I will be able to curtail. Assuage means to make less, curtail my sorrows, okay, my unhappiness which he had living in that in uninhabited island. In the ways of religion and truth, how he's giving us the way also. How would he go, how would he mitigate, or how would he curtail his sorrows? In the ways of religion and truth. You all know that in human society there is the prevalence of religion. When we find that some things in our life are not working, we take the help of religion. Okay, we have religion, we have truth of love. Okay, so he wishes that if he is with his fellow beings, then he will be able to curtail his sorrows by practicing religion, by practicing truth, by mixing up, mingling up with the fellow human beings. So he knows that the warmth of his fellow human beings will be enough to lessen his sorrows. Might learn from the wisdom of age and be cheered by the sallies of youth. So he is. This is how we enjoy our life. Okay, what are the, we get so much of lessons from our fellow beings, so much of lessons in the human society. It is the society where we lessen our sorrow, we learn new things. Okay, we enjoy our life. So he has already planned when he will go to the human society once again. There he is going to learn from the wisdom of age. Means age gives us wisdom, isn't it? So the more aged a person is, the more wise he becomes, more experienced he becomes, because he sees the different he sees the world more than his younger generation. So he's telling that from the people who are aged than him, from the older people, he is going to gain wisdom once again. And he will be cheered, means he'll be made happy by the sallies of the youth, by the company of the youth. Okay, by being with in the companion of the young people, by their talks, by their discussions, he will be cheered, he would gain happiness. This is what he used to do when he was leading a normal life. This is what we also do when we lead a life in the human society. So, but he is now deprived of it because he is in that uninhabited island. Okay. So, in the third stanza, student, we come to know, students, that what are the three qualities which are divinely bestowed on human beings, and what are the wishes that are there in the mind of Alexander Selkirk. Okay. Now come to the fourth stanza. Yea, winds that have made me your sport, convey to this desolate shore some cordial, endearing report of a land I shall visit no more. My friends, do they now and then send a wish or a thought after me? Oh, tell me, I yet have a friend, though a friend I am never to see. So, in the fourth stanza, he is addressing the winds, personifying them. He's telling that, ye winds, you have made me your sport, means you have made me your game. You may toss me wherever you like, means I am so powerless, helpless now. He is living at the mercy of the natural world. So he's telling that these winds which have made me your sport, because in other in other days, or in the human society, human beings have the ability to harness the power of wind to their own benefit also. Haven't we seen the windmills? Yes, they have so developed themselves that they can change the course of winds also. But in that uninhabited island, being all alone, he is at the mercy of these winds also. So he's telling that, you winds, you have made me your game, I am at your mercy, you have made me your sport. So please, I now request you, please do me a favor. Convey to this desolate shore. Desolate means lonely, where there is no human beings. Okay, convey means please bring a message to this desolate shore. What kind of message? Cordial. Okay, endearing means dear to his heart. Okay, something which is the meaning is given here. Endearing means evoking affection, love, filled with love. Please bring some message of love to this desolate shore, shore of the island. Yeah, island also has a shore. So please, in the shore of the, in the means seashore. The island was in a sea, so he's telling that, please, means you have the power. You please go and bring some message from the human society. What kind of message? Some cordial, okay, some very formal, cordial, lovable, affectionate, okay, filled with love. Report means the message to this desolate shore, so that I can get a message from my society, from the human world. Of a land I shall visit no more. So, from where does he want the winds to bring the message? From a land which he will visit no more. He has already, he has accepted, he has admitted, or he has accepted his destiny, that he would never be able to go to the human society again, to mix up with the human society, to meet his fellow human beings. So he's telling that that land I will never get the opportunity to visit. So please do me a favor, bring me some message of love from that land where I belonged to this desolate shore where I am living now. Okay, my friends, do they now and then send a wish or a thought after me? Because winds are pervading everywhere. They have the quality, or they are blessed with that trait to be everywhere. Okay, you cannot stop the winds from going from here and there. Um, in normal times. So he's telling that, winds, you must have gone to that, you roam around here and there, so I want to get the news from you. He's asking, just as we ask a conveyor, or we through letters, through different mediums, we want to know the, uh, you may say, whereabouts or the information from our near and dear ones. Here the author is considering the wind to be the messenger. The speaker is considering the winds to be his messengers, and he's asking, he wanted to know whether his friends now and then send a wish or thought after me. He wanted to know whether his friends remembered him or not. He was left all alone there. He had not seen him for long. Have they totally erased him out of their memory? Or do they still remember him, or have they totally forgotten him? This answer he wants to know from the winds, because he know that it's the wind which have the ability to go to all places, okay, and again come back. So he wants to know from the wind whether his friends misses him or not, whether they thinks about him, whether they think about him, whether they give a place in their mind and think about him anymore or not. A wish or thought after me. Oh, tell me, I yet have a friend, though a friend I am never to see. Okay, so he's telling, oh, tell me, winds, please tell me whether I still have a friend, although I know that I am not going to see them any longer. Though a friend I am never to see. Though I am a friend whom they are not going to see any longer. But still, I want to know, do I have my friends intact there? Do I still have my friends there who miss me, who talk about me, who remember the sweet days of my life which we have spent together? But please, you tell me that they have a friend I am never to see, the friend which they are never going to see again, because he knows that he is going to pass his last breath in that island. Okay, so in the third stanza, or sorry, in that first, second, third, fourth stanza, we come to know that the speaker, okay, he wants the winds to become his messenger. Okay, and he wants to send some message to his friends and wants to hear about them. Clear? Fifth stanza. How fleet is a glance of the mind compared with the speed of its flight. The tempest itself lags behind, and the swift wings arrows of light. When I think of my own native land, in a moment I seemed to be there. But alas, recollection at hand soon hurries me back to despair. So he is now in the fifth stanza, he's talking about the fleet is a glance of the mind, is talking about the power of a mind, power of a human mind, how fast the mind works. He's saying how fleet is a glance of the mind, in one glance, in one stroke. The fleet means the speed of the mind is so fast compared with the speed of its flight. The tempest itself lags behind. He's telling that the speed of the mind is so fast, okay, that the tempest also lag behind. Tempest means it's a kind of storm. Okay, the storm also doesn't have the speed of the human mind. If a human mind wants, then it can glance everything in its mind, means it can imagine everything inside its mind, isn't it? Today I'm here, I can imagine myself in being in America immediately. It doesn't take any time. Okay, within a split of a second, I can imagine myself to be in America. But is it possible to reach there so soon? No, but the mind can reach it immediately. So he's appreciating the that quality of the human mind, the swiftness, the fastness, that it is far more faster than the speed of a tempest. Tempest means a storm. It's given here in your word meanings, a violent storm. We know the storms come at a very fast rate, the velocity very fast, but the mind will overtake the speed of the tempest. It's so fast. The mind's speed is so fast that it can easily reach a place it wants, and it can easily assume or imagine a situation it likes. And the swifting arrows of light, it is faster than the arrows of light. Light also travels very fast, we all know that. But according to the speaker, the speed of the human mind is faster than the arrows of light. He's comparing the passage, the path of light to be like arrows. The light also moves very fast, but faster than the light, arrows of light, the mind moves. Okay. When I think of my own native land, in a moment I seem to be there. He's telling that it's because of the speed, the fastness of the mind that whenever I think of my native land, the land where I belong to, immediately, in a moment, I am there. I can assume myself to be there. I can imagine myself to be there. And the credit goes to the mind, okay, the swiftness of the human mind. But alas, recollection at hand, recollection means remembrance at hand, soon hurries me back to despair. But immediately I come back to the reality. I am filled with sweet memories. These memories haunt me. I'm filled with nostalgic feelings. And alas, I come to the reality that this is just my imagination. This is just my illusion that I am in my native land. And I have to accept the reality and hurries me back to despair. I came come to this situation of despair where I am all alone, away from my fellow beings, away from the human society. And once again, I become frustrated. I become, my mind becomes devastated. Okay. So the poet in the fifth stanza talks about he appreciates the ability of the mind to move fast. And with this, because of that ability, very now and then he rejoices, he relishes his nostalgia, he assumes to be with his fellow beings in the human society, but very soon he comes back to the reality again. Now let us move to the last stanza or the sixth stanza of the poem. But the sea fowl is gone to her nest, the beast is lain down in his lair. And here is a season of rest, and I to my cabin repair. Here's mercy in every place, and mercy encouraging thought gives even affliction a grace and reconciles man to his lot. The last stanza, we see that the poet is observing. Okay, he's a keen observer of the natural world, and he's telling that in that island, in the time of evening, he sees that the sea fowl is a creature. That bird, she has gone to her nest also. In the evening, she retires to her nest like all other birds. She is retiring to her nest. The beast is laid down. The beast, after roaming around during the daytime in the area of the island, he has also now lain down. He's also resting in his lair, means in his shelter. Even there is a even here is a season of rest. Here is also rest. Here also the wild animals take rest. They also follow a pattern of life. And to my cabin repair, so I also have to follow the pattern, that because I am with living with them, I also have to follow that pattern. Just as we rest for the night, being in the human society, here in that island living with the animal world, in the animal world, he also has to follow that pattern. Okay, so he also goes back to his cabin, he repairs, he rests there. And then he's telling that he reconciles to his lot. Okay, he surrenders, he has to accept his reality, and he is following the ways of the animals there. Just as they repair to their cabins and nest in the evening time, he also goes back to his cabin. And then he's telling that there is mercy in every place. Then he realizes that all this time he was missing his society, his native land. But now he is telling that it's not like that. Mercy is not only in the human society. There is mercy in this uninhabited island also. There is mercy pervading this society of the animals. Okay, this world of the animals, the small world where he was residing, where he was dwelling. So he's telling that there is mercy in every place, and mercy encouraging thought. There is mercy in this island also, in the environment of this island, and that mercy encourages positive thoughts in his mind. Okay, it encourages thoughts in him, gives even affliction again. Grace, affliction means pain. Okay, no doubt the speaker Alexander Selkirk, he was suffering from pain and separation, pangs of separation, and he was afflicted, means he was in distress, he was in grief. But he's telling that mercy is giving a grace, a beauty to this pain. Okay, and reconciles man to his lot. And this mercy, that feeling, that divine quality of mercy which is there in our human heart, that helps man to reconcile, okay, to resign to his lot, means to accept the reality. Okay, so he is telling that although he was complaining, he misses the human society throughout the poem, he misses his friends, but in the end of the poem we find that he is reconciling, he is resigning to his lot. and he's telling that there is beauty in that life also. He's meditating upon that, that is beauty in that simple and beautiful, in that simple, natural, solitary world that he was living in. And it was the world of nature. Okay, so he tries to find solace in the natural world that is around him by observing the ways of the animals, how they follow a pattern, okay, how they come out from their resting places in the early morning, again they go back. So he is telling that it's better to befriend them, better to accept my condition, better to find beauty in the natural world. So in the end of the poem we find that he tries to mix up and mingle with the natural world. He tries to find beauty out of the natural world, and he tries to befriend the wild animals living there, because by he has to spend, he knows that that is his destiny. He has to spend the leftover days of his life there, so it is better to form a cordial relationship with them. So he spends time exploring the island, observing their ways of life, and he is happy. Okay, he is satisfied of his solitary life. Okay, lonely, and he says that there is beauty there also. So if you want, you can find beauty in any image, any aspect of your life, in any condition of your life. Okay, so as there is no way out, had he any way out, he would have surely gone away from that island to his own native land. But he knows that there is no way out, so it is better to accept his condition, okay, and enjoy whatever he was getting there. So that sense of contentment, sense of satisfaction is a very important message that the poet Cowper is giving here, that whatever we have in life, we should be happy with that. We should be contented with that. Okay, we should never complain, because everyone does not have everything that he wishes for. And in this human society also, although he's talking in general about the human society, but we all know that in the human society also, there's so much of disparity regarding economic status, caste, creed, community. So whatever life gives us, we should be happy with that, and we should accept our lot. Okay, so the we see that the speaker passes to different phases, mental phases in this entire course of the poem. It, initially he was relishing being the monarch. He was happy that he was all powerful. Later we find that his rejoicement gives into image of frustration. He was lamenting, he was filled, he was in sorrow, he was afflicted. And towards the end we find that he has become wise. He has tried to reconcile to his lot and accept his situation as it is. Okay, so this is the poem. So we have got to know how a person feels when he is left all alone. Okay, now regarding the you may say the technical aspect of the poem, students, the poem consists of 6 stanza, and each stanza has a, you may say, made up of the same number of lines, and it follows a regular rhyme scheme. A rhyme scheme is followed in the poem: love, dove, man again, assuage, age, truth, youth. Okay, A B A B A B, like that. The rhyme scheme is followed, and it's a form of ballad. The poem is written in the form of a ballad. Ballad means a poem which tells us a story, a long poem which tells us a story. So here also we get to know about the story of a sailor who was left all alone, a Scottish sailor who was marooned in an uninhabited island for 4 years. Okay, we get to know about that, the story of his stay in that island. And the poem is it is in a melancholic and reflective tone. The tone of the poem is melancholic and reflective. Thank you, students.